the smallest component that we know in our recollection, in our ability to see, is the molecule. That is the smallest absolute building block. And yeah, we know from science that there is an atom, like a nucleus, like a center, and around it are neutrons, protons, photons, electrons, protons. Did I already say that one? Neutrons. There's a lot of them. A lot of trons circulating around those. And obviously, from what we know from science, depending on the amount of photons, protons, depending on the count, gives us certain elements. Obviously, you know, plant life has more protons in it than they might photons of something like that. And depending on the atomic count of what bodies or what shells are going around the elements as well, gives us basically the building blocks of what matter is. Being that there's gold, there's uranium, there are inanimate objects, there's living objects, they all have a different atomic count, which is all based on you know, science and chemistry and all that. Kind of gets deep as to the elementary table, I guess you could say. Oh, by the way, this is Tom. This is the INFJ experience. Now, the way I think of it is, yes, okay, you could look at it on that microcosm, very, very microcosm, and see the building blocks of what life is, okay, and which it is. But now, I want to span out a little bit. Now, Einstein actually said that we, you know, things are relative. We live in relativity. Relativity means everything's related in a sense. I want to span out to what relativity meant and what Einstein was talking about with relativity, okay? I just described to you what the atom was and the molecule of what it was and what it represented, okay? Now let's look at the solar system on a macrocosm. And we're right in a time continuum right here. Time has slowed down slow enough for us to be in its motion, in its moment at this moment. But look at this. As an atom, now you have the sun, which is the nucleus, kind of similar to the atom. And around it, we have planets, and around planets we have shells, which are like our moons, our own orbitals, which, like I said, go back to the atom. Each one of those particles has certain shells, and there's a certain number of shells that revolve around those particles, which give it an extra depth of dimension. Some of them have elliptical orbits, and some have eccentric orbits, which give it 3 dimension. Now, then I said, like I said, the macrocosm of the solar system is actually a larger version of an atom, of a molecule. They almost revolve, and they have the same similar, basically, nature, and that's what makes them have it relativity right there. That's what makes them relative to each other. And if you expand out even further than that, you have the galaxies. Galaxies are those pinwheel galaxies. It looks like they're a collection of solar systems, almost the same way as atoms and molecules have a collection which make up body, which make up things, which make up cells in a living body, for example. Galaxies, if you look at it on a macrocosm, are like a cell. It's very similar to a cell, the way it's kind of like there's a big tight nucleus, and they have the arms that kind of spin around it, kind of that pinwheel, also giving it that cell look. You break an egg out, I'm sure how many eggs have you cracked open in a pan? And you got that yolk in the middle, and you get all that white in there. And when it starts cooking, it's one large cell. And in its obscure way, people, it's like a galaxy in a way, because it's spanned out. Okay, and that's the way, that's relativity. Okay, now I've known this stuff for a long time. This kind of thinking has been in my mind. Maybe some of you INFJs out there think like this, but I guess my point is to the segment of this is just to know that how deep the mind goes, and I always try to go back to that. All right, of course, like I said, the galaxies are also part of trillions and trillions, who knows how many. We don't even know how many galaxies there are in this universe, but do they make up a larger body? Are we just a speck, a particle on this earth, and we just a photon or a proton in a massive, larger body? Well, I know it's only speculation. You can only think. But again, this is the depth of our mind. and this is where it can go. Oh, I just wanted to capture your attention. And it's always, like I said, we like deep conversation. Well, this is part of our deep conversation right now. And the fact that our mind is very elaborate. But at some point, we have to connect the dots and say, okay, why do we think this way? Our mind has to be this complex, this vast, this intricate for a reason, for a purpose, for a higher purpose as to why. There's got to be. It gives us a depth of understanding into understanding ourselves and a better understanding in how we relate to other people in some ways. I mean, we all have a function in this earth. We all have a purpose here, but we also have a kind of a symbiote, kind of a relationship with everything. We're all kind of tied in. Like people, when we breathe, you're breathing in oxygen. I mean, I'm kind of have a relationship with the tree above me. See that tree? Well, it's breathing out the carbon dioxide. I'm breathing in the oxygen, and I'm breathing it out. And so it's breathing what I breathe what it breathes. So we have kind of a symbiotic relationship at the moment because we're kind of sharing the same air. So in a sense, I'm related to that tree. And we all are. We all have that relation. Just as that body of water behind me, as you can see. We as human beings are made up of what? 98.2% water, whatever the ratio is, and the rest are elements. The rest are like fragments and elements and things like that, minerals. So, but the thing is, we have to tap into the water in order to survive. So it's almost like just as a river passes through a mountainside, well, a river passes through our body. As we drink water, as it passes out, we are basically perpetuating a river in our body. You see the depth of it? So my point is that we're able to see this, to kind of see the connection that we are, that everything on earth somehow has a connection to everything else, okay? And human beings, we're all the same, we're similar in that way as well. We're all human beings. We have families. We raise families. We have our children that are supposed to be almost passed down through our other DNA from our forefathers and grandmothers and that kind of thing. So we're supposed to perpetuate along, see? So, okay, I'm really just painting a small picture here. My mouth is trying to translate what my mind's going, and there's so much more in there. But my bottom line is, people, is that that's what it is how we are all connected. Maybe that's the basis of what this point is right now. And it goes way deeper. It goes way deeper. This is I just scratched the surface as to the connection and how deep things go and how nature itself, physics itself, everything around us, somehow our intuition is supposed to see this, is supposed to drink it in, compute it, understand it, and understand how it all focuses into who we are as humans. Well, anyway, people, I said a lot. I just needed to get that off my chest. Listen, I've been thinking like this for years. Sometimes I try to talk to people and I don't have an audience to talk to, and sometimes it falls on deaf ears, or sometimes people look at you like you got three heads. But this is our community. This is our station. This is our sanctuary. And we need to know that maybe our mind goes deep like this. I'm sure some of you other INFJs out there, not even just INFJs, intuitives in general, that's how deep the mind goes. And this is how we figure out, and this is the way we piece together our existence and our life around us all the time. So people, I hope you like that segment. And I can only go so far and so long here before I have to wrap this video up. But I just wanted to say that to you, people. I just wanted to get your attention and get your understanding, and sometimes how the mind goes and how we go. Well, anyway, people, I said a lot. Well, again, people, thank you again, and please stick around. Maybe this will fall in line with another video that I made. All right. And before I go, again, when I'm at a place like this, I want you to see where I am. Hey, look at these guys. Look at the ducks. See them? Hey, look at those guys. See the ducks? Where are they going? See that?